Is this going to show up? Okay, AKAPAD. So this is, we're missing, just so you guys can see, we're missing that much. I'm not going crazy with getting all this on camera. H.R. Giger's Necronomicon, and we have an introduction by Clive Barker. Why is Clive Barker absolutely important to this introduction? Because this is a time where Clive Barker lit the world on fire. He was the preeminent horror author and just overall creator in American horror. He was way above Stephen King at this point. He was writing, drawing. He gets his own Marvel comic book line. He gets a lot of specials. On my Sunday presentation, I've been debating on rolling out almost like close to 3 hours worth of Clive Barker specials and interviews, because he is immensely meaningful to me. For one of my Inktober's, for Inktober 2021, I did like a Clive Barker themed sketchbook here. You know, we did almost like the entire sketchbook. And I did my best to emulate a lot of his character design and drawing style at the time. But I did this for Inktober, and it was absolutely challenging. This is one of the most challenging sketchbooks I've ever put together. So I'm Team Clive Barker. He storyboarded the first Hellraiser movie, wrote, directed that. He just seemed like an unstoppable force. Omni, the master of fantasy art. There you go, Morpheus. We need a Garfield lasagna box here to get to prop this up. So this blew me away. So I bought this book new at Barnes & Noble a long time ago. The retail isn't crazy. Look, the retail's $70, and these have relatively doubled in value. You can still get volume 1 for $100, volume 2 you get for $150, $200. Okay, I thought someone did this, but this is printed. I love the crazy sharpiness. H.R. Giger's Necronomicon. Here we go. So here's the Clive Barker introduction. My goal here is we have to highlight the Alien movie before this mad monster got a hold of the character designs. We see his biography. He starts out with like pencil and ink artwork. It's like mixed media. And there's nothing, right? There's nothing crazy. You know, like I think this one's called Loaded or Birth Machine. This one's called Birth Machine. It's like it's like almost just a bunch of little cool alien dudes loaded in a gun. But look at the detail. How well he's rendering the mechanics of this gun. You think it's a photograph. You're wrong. And we see like the use of that texture. He's so good. Now, we have to be mindful of the size of these pieces. These are big. But he gets even bigger when he starts airbrushing. So again, too, like we're still in his biography down here. We see him and his pops. He starts introducing nudity, getting a little bit more risky. Like, even stuff like this is just... I love the pink and purple hues in this. But it's just nuts. And look at the girl's face. Like, her helmet. It's just nuts. So he's getting into, at the time, this would, like, be, like, body horror. Or biotech. It's like biotech and body horror. But here we go. And we have a whole section here. Look, working with an airbrush. So these pieces, 200 by 140. So like these are a good size piece. And here we go. Like that quickly he becomes the Giger that we all know. And you may look at this and say, well, he's splitting the image, right? Like it's a split and he's just copying. This is what makes him an artist. Sometimes there's craftsmanship, how well we handle our tools, our materials. But see this piece here, this rod. See, like, it doesn't echo over here. We get differences of the canisters here going into the skulls right here. See, this one has wires. There's no wires here. It looks like a mirrored image, but it's not. So you have to stare at it. You have to look at this. And I used to look at this a lot. And yeah, like you play those memory games or those, you know, you spot the differences. Like even here, see the claws, the tentacles. Like this is maybe like male, or that's male and that's female. It's just nuts. But we get into this era. Like this one too. Like see, he draws it like around the corner, right? Like what's beyond here? And we kind of have to say, like, no one in cinema, no one, like, movie-wise, has brought this stuff to life. His imagery has not been... We have the alien, we have species, but no... And look, and he does it again here. Like, it's insane. It's insane. It's almost like a fisheye. And the detail in every single ring... Like, you can just, again, and you kind of want to say, if we see this in person, we're seeing more and more detail as we fade into the horizon. But no one's really brought this stuff to life. Like, no one's brought this to life. This also reminds me of Quinsara from Transformers The Last Night. If you guys want a Transformers reference. Yeah, biomechanoid. Just the idea of defining what we're looking at. It's also a big, endless debate. And we get, like, now a little bit of a sketch. We see, look how accurate and nice his sketch work is. He could draw. Minion. Right? Clearly, Giger has a sense of humor. Between 1967 and 1971, I didn't receive a penny. I usually got thrown out in the second pass, even with pictures like Phonoma and Birth Machine, which sold over 50,000 copies in poster. So Birth Machine sold 50K in posters. Let's get back to Birth Machine. Birth Machine sells 50K in posters. Right here. That. Am I missing that? One more. Birth Machine, 50K in posters. Never received scholarship. So he just didn't ever get attention. And, you know, like, this is an album cover, right? EP designed for brain salad surgery by Emerson, Lake and Palmer. So this is Emerson, Lake and Palmer. So right here, I need to buy that cover. We're going to buy that. He goes into a green phase, green landscapes, artist as, here we go, I love that. Artist as psychiatrist. Struggle to sell oneself. Guys, we're still there, right? We're all trying to sell ourselves. And we get this, like, look at this, though. It's hard to imagine him thinking in color. It really is, because we see so much of his work in black and white. Techniques. We see, like, even, too, like, his blending. It's just so much there. Like, he blends so well, and he adds these highlights, these, like, pops of reflection. Like, we kind of even see it here with this headpiece. Like, you guys, oh, not there, like here. Like, it's really impressive. And posters. So, keep in mind, we want to say Giger always did Alien this, Alien that. He was a merchandiser. He knew how. So, I just want to let you guys see. This is how far we got. And then I got a phone call. So, guys, we're going to get back to H.R. Giger, but I wanted to show off this because I forgot to, this image here, the one that has you know, it's almost like a fisheye. This part of the book folds out. And this, let me do my best. This is what the entire image looks like. I'm telling you, this dude's on another level. Alright, so we left off on posters. If some of the ambient light looks different, literally one half of the day went by between me shooting what you saw before until right now. We have Mordor. I'm not even sure. Like, I don't even know. Look, theater. Like, it's this book too. We'll one day do a more detailed presentation of this, because there is some really good commentary. I want to get the other book though. I want to get book number 2 before we do that. But like, I love how he draws some of these machines. Like, look at these guns and those goggles, or those visors. I mean, we're at a point where you have to people being freaked out by this dude. It's there because you have to live in another realm to come up with this. You really do. Let me get some. Here we go. Some xenomorph action here. I mean, I love the xenomorph with the bug eyes. And we have Dune. Yeah, some of this ended up right here, right? Like, some of the Harkonnen castle ended up in Prometheus. And essentially, he kind of talks here how they called him, you know, like, maybe like there was like a little back and forth. They said, hey, why don't you do this? And I don't want to say, I'm not sure if he did it on spec, but he ended up getting like 400 francs a month to do this work. H.R. Giger's environments. Like, look at this, though. Like, this is where, like, you change things. Like, once this work is complete, things change for the visual world. About my work. It's a little bit about me, and I know here he goes into some of his process. Just like the tools and the airbrush and how much he was transformed by the airbrush. And we see there's a lot of pictures of him with holding an airbrush. But again, completely next level. Like, look, this is him. He's just like at home, sitting down, hanging out. Nice timeline here. Great book. We will do a more detailed page by page when I get Necronomicon Volume 2. And then I think I'm going to add a couple more Giger works to that. But we're going to start with 1 and 2. We're not going to let our foot off the gas when it comes to having more looks at this guy. Because, you know, like, is he memory hold a little bit? He's still relevant. But, you know, a generation has gone by since his work really hit the mainstream. So we're going to stay on top of it.